Now, leader of the new force, Nana Kwame Bediako, popularly known as Cheddar, has declared his willingness to declare his assets and also source of wealth if the need be, as Ghanaians begin to question his source of income. He spoke earlier on the AM show with Benjamin Akapo.
To respect the investment. That's what I'm saying, that even if the country turns their back on me and say that, oh, all your things that you did, we don't know where you got the money from, so we're seizing it. Well, what power do I have? You know, but one thing you should remember is that I went from digging the ground by putting the block, putting the concrete. I sweat. I stood in the sun. I built it. I did it. And I want the youth to replicate that. I want the people in Ghana to be doing the same. We always don't have to sit here and watch somebody to come from outside before a building can come up. Okay? We can't afford to buy a building. This is the reasons why we want to create a middle income economy. So we're living a fair life. It would reduce the jealousy. I know a lot of people are jealous, but I don't blame them. And I'm not fighting them. And as much as you don't like me, I can understand you. Because if you don't have it at all, and I have it, then you have to ask yourself, how did I get it? Do you understand what I'm saying? And I'm trying to hint you that, wisdom is one of the main things that has acquired my wealth. Because, I use my mind more than my pocket.
I think...
Well, Nana Bediako is, however, using a different funding approach for his presidential campaign. He says he will embark on a donation drive to seek support from Ghanaians to finance his campaign.
Every leader that wakes up in Africa, that goes out there to campaign, is going to the people and say, take 50 cedis, take 200 cedis, take 400 cedis, vote for me, vote for me. What do you think happens when that person becomes a president? All of you own the president. Because he's going to take his money back times 100 times from you. So the way we are doing our governance is wrong. The way we are building our political platform that is going to build our future is wrong, because we're bribing the people to vote. So when we become leaders, then we still back what we gave them, what we bribed them with 1,000 times. Now, who is wrong here? It's not just the president. You are also wrong. So the two people are corrupt. And we can't be going in circles doing this. I am coming to the nation. I am about to ask them. My team will come together. And it doesn't matter what you can contribute to us in this campaign that we're about to go through. Whether it's water, we will take it. Whether it's one city, we will take it. Anything that people give us, we will declare it. And we will show appreciation, and we will use that money rightfully.
We've been asking the question, what are your thoughts about Nana Kwame Bediako's political ambitions? We took to the streets of Accra.
For me, I think it's a democratic government, so he being on the ballot paper is allowed. But just opposing the fact, I wouldn't be the one to vote. I wouldn't vote for him because my vote is not for him. I belong to another political party, but he being bold enough to come on the ballot paper and requesting to be part of the presidential position is a bold decision, and I think he should go for it. Those who vote for him will vote for him.
For me, I believe that guy, I don't know nothing about him. So for me to vote for him is something, unless maybe I learned a lot about him before voting for him. But I like him since he's a younger guy. I think he can do something. And look at the way he started his things. I think the youth are interested. Putting on a mask, starting doing some advert and all those things. He's very good. Naturally, he's very sensitive. So I think the youth will be happy to vote for him.
I don't necessarily think I would. Not because he's a bad option. We do need a third force in Ghana. We do need someone else who seems to be a good option. I just think the narrative that he pushes surrounding his campaign, surrounding everything is not, it seems to be nationalist, but it seems to be the sort of nationalist that can hurt us in the long run. Because yes, you see, he says he's a savior. He says he's the one that's going to help us, but then everybody who purports to be that often takes it in a toxic tangent, and then it becomes like an isolated government that just hurts us for its own sake. So I think even if the other options are terrible, well, at least they haven't acted in a way or perpetuated the narrative that they alone could be good for us in a way that is undemocratic. I can see his government a possible government of his being largely unregulated and mostly undemocratic. So I don't think I would vote for him.
To me, I will never consider to vote for him because initially he didn't open his, let me use the word, mind or the face. So I will never vote for him. He will never get my vote. Because if you want to lead Ghana or if you want to lead organization, your face has to be there for a long time so that we know where you come from and where your attitude and everything.
The fact that he has been in Kamla or in Maxi, that doesn't disqualify him of not being voted for. And actually, I like the man. He's a young Ghanaian man and he has the ability to. The energy concerning the man is very good. Nana Bediako, I really like him. If Ghana may comply with me, we can vote him for him to become the 2024 president.
And thinking about it, his action, I think he can take Ghana ahead. If you vote for him, I think he can maybe he can help the country than voting the old presidents. Looking at him, he's somebody who have enough, I think he have enough to do something for the country.
The Immigration Service last month revoked the stay permit and deported Shalima Abusi after the state dropped charges preferred against her in an exclusive interview with Raymond Akwa. Shalima Abusi is now speaking to us on the charges, adding that they were fabricated. She also described the inhumane treatment she allegedly suffered at the hands of immigration and also NIB officers.
The charges were actually that I forged documents to obtain the resident permit, and also in the charges were mentioned that they were interested in the new force rather than my resident permit. So that is very interesting, isn't it? Because normally if it's a case of immigration, you're not being taken to court, leave alone being arrested without any evidence for 7 days and being kept at national intelligence. Is somebody really supposed to be kept at national intelligence if it's a problem with your permit? You know, I think it was very clear that it was about the new force, which was also mentioned in the charges, that I was there because they wanted to investigate my activities in relationship to the new force. So there was no evidence. There never was any evidence presented. They did a house search. They had access. They had my phone in their custody. There was nothing to prove that I forged documents to obtain a permit. I obtained the permit through an official immigration officer, as I mentioned before, and I don't know too much about the whole legal aspect. I think that is something for my lawyer, Mr. Sosu, can answer those questions better. But there was never any evidence presented, and especially if you know that they dropped all charges eventually, then we can ask questions on how true the allegations are. I don't think a spokesperson is a political person. I am delivering a message. I am reporting on behalf. I am not a politician. I don't see myself as a politician, and I was actually surprised that me being the spokesperson, that I was being mistaken as a politician all of a sudden. Never said anything like I want to be part of the government or anything that points to me being a political person. There was never anything said like that. All I did was deliver a message. And the truth of the matter is they didn't even give anybody the chance to elaborate, because right after the video came out, they arrested me. So how do you want people to make their intentions clear if you don't even give us the chance to do so?
Now, today I understand that Nana Kwame Bediako has been saying that you were not spokesperson appointed and crowned so in the understanding we have of political spokespersons. Is that true? Mm-hmm.
Yes, that is true. I don't see myself as a politician at all. I see myself as a spokesperson and somebody with a heart for humanity. But I think if we look at the whole situation, the video was so powerful and the words I spoke were so powerful that it uprooted the nation. And I think if they would have even let us communicate the agenda or even let us do the unveiling, things would have been a little bit different. When the 48 benchmark approached, my lawyer was present at NIB. They took him into a room and they took me away. At that point, they pushed me in a van and they took, or in a car, and they took me somewhere. I didn't know where I was going, so I kept asking, "Where am I going? What's going on? Where am I going? Why can I not speak to my lawyer?" And nobody was telling me anything. And then I saw we arrived at court, and I was like, my lawyer should be aware. Like, you should make him aware, or you should call him or let him know that I'm here. But they refused. They just ignored me. They weren't listening to me. They were lying to me that they were just going to file some documentation at court. And eventually they wanted to put me on the stand, take my plea, and, potentially let me incriminate myself. I had a counsel, I had a lawyer, and they refused to give me access to him. They refused to call him. They refused to let him know where I was at that point. So that was very inhumane. So at that point, I told the judge, I spoke up for myself. I had to speak up for myself, and I told the judge that I do have a counsel and I want my lawyer to be present. The judge was very disappointed in the prosecution, and she told them I needed to make if I want to make phone calls, they have to let me make phone calls, but they never even granted my phone calls until 2 days after. I have not given up on Ghana. I feel like my work is not done yet. Like I said, I felt really inspired by everything that I've seen and I've been through. I still have a lot of love for Ghana. I've been staying there for some years, It's still a place that I hold very dear to my heart. And, I'm sure I'll be back eventually.